because we can't approve our agenda yet, why don't you do your superintendent's report first?
Sure.
Since that's informational.
Sure, let me find it.
Okay.
So, because you guys get like big superintendent reports. So again, we have been asked to join the Jewel lawsuit, class action lawsuit against Jewel for its adverse impact on students and the time and resources of school districts. I provided you information in the superintendent's report on that, and I'll be asking you to take action on that tonight. We're also asking for a change in policy DDA. However, I don't see that either. Let's double check. Is the policy itself in the packet? Yeah, it is warned. So, and the reason is, in this year's budget process, it was particularly difficult for our two school districts, Barstow and Otter Valley, particularly Otter Valley, because the information coming out of the agency, which often changes iterations, this year wasn't even up to its usual method. And so we feel it's difficult. I feel as though I'm standing in front of the board and standing in front of community saying, this is it. And then next week it changes. Mm-hmm. And I think it leaves you in a squishy place. Mm-hmm. So our recommendation is to change the policy on how we assess and apportion costs based upon a date time, December 31st. So the information we have at December 31st will be the information used to assess, okay. As opposed to the different iterations that come out usually by budget time, but this year not even by budget decision time.
It can be a little confusing, I think, to people because, well, this number could change. We haven't got this number.
I know. And even the tax rate, this is the estimated tax rate that the legislature is going to act on in May, long after you vote on the budget. Mm-hmm. And this just added one more complication. So in your consent agenda, I'm asking you to update our policy on assessing and apportioning costs with a time certain date. Also, I did want to let you know that Otter Valley has been identified as having too few students take the SBAC. This is more an Otter Valley issue, but I'm reporting to you as well as the RNESU board. And the impact of this could be a loss of federal funds unless they reach 95% participation.
They have time frame to do it?
Yes, we've turned in a correction plan to the state. The state's approved it. A big piece in the Otter Valley high school culture is that testing in the communities of Otter Valley is not appreciated or
it's not condoned.
Valued.
They don't want to do it.
So many parents have pulled out of testing, which skews our scores, but also skews our participation rate. So we're trying to do a major campaign, informational campaign, that it really is important
hurt the wallet.
It'll hurt the wallet. Exactly, if we're not testing. And then I just needed to let you know about the e-finance software conversion. It's been quite a headache. I don't know if any of you saw the Vermont Digger article on another school district who does not have a Brenda Fleming working for them, whose employee showed up to a board meeting to talk about how, one person got a paycheck for $8 and one got a paycheck for $8,000. And I mean, just a mess. We are not a mess. But it is very, very time consuming in the business office right now.
It's just a conversion to another program.
To a program that is not as advanced as ours. And
why do
it was decided by the state.
The state has mandated this program, and it sets us back about 10 years.
And are they aware that people are having trouble with this?
They're aware.
Okay.
Yeah. But it is what it is, and our conversion has begun, and Brenda has been communicating with employees and asking for help identifying errors, and so it's going well. It's just very, very time consuming, and one result is that there's not a financial update in this particular month as she has converted over, so that will start again next month and be retroactive, but this particular month she can't. She doesn't have the ability to run a report for you.
Did they understand it was time consuming? Did they understand it's older technology?
Yes.
Okay.
Did they care?
No.
I don't.
Unfortunately, it was a system that was chosen without any input from the field whatsoever.
There you go.
And the state is, we're like in the third group to roll over. The Vermont Digger article was an earlier group, but Brenda's been watching the mistakes of others very closely to help us do it better.
So get away from those.
But You know, the other end is, once we get through all the pains and trials and tribulations, the state will have a consistent data around finances in the
Right.
state. That's the goal, but the getting there is very, very difficult. We're asking you to sign updated 403B plan documents. Those are required to be done by IRS regulations. The RNESU calendar for next year is in this packet, and it's out. It's not something that necessarily needs approval, it just needs information. And
It's a bad calendar.
because it's not a,
Well,
it's
it
a
doesn't-
3, 5, 4.
Now it starts that you.
It's only one
It's
year.
a 4, 5.
No, it's a 3,
4.
5, 4.
No.
It's still a Wednesday start, so
Oh, is
3.
it? All right, so 3, 5, 4, 5. I don't know. I
It's
just.
because Labor Day is so late this year.
Yeah, I know.
But we'll go back to the normal next year.
Okay, messes up other stuff.
But the other possibility was to move it back a week to start school in September, which we were worried would be getting out
August.
in July.
Mm.
So, yeah.
Okay.
An additional piece to the legislative update is I've been invited to testify at House, what House committee?
Anything that says testify.
Education, isn't it? It has something to do with
It's not.
childcare.
They're invited?
Oh, yeah, it's not education. I am testifying Wednesday on childcare in the House Ways and Means.
Okay.
Wednesday, and Becca Kerr is going with me because they want to hear about the Whiting program. And then I'm testifying, I believe, on Friday in House Government on a new bill that would allow teachers to essentially break contract without any
Ramifications?
Ramifications. And my testimony is that I feel that that would significantly negatively impact our ability to fill positions. You may recall Otter Valley did allow a teacher for personal reasons leave in July, and we were a math teacher, we were unable to fill it. And we have teachers backfilling that position this year. And that's the concern, is after a certain point, you can't, especially the more difficult to hire positions, you can't find somebody. And that affects our kids. So why would we? It's a
Doesn't that
contract.
affect our contract as well? I mean,
Yeah.
our standard contract
Yeah.
doesn't. we
It's a
don't-
contract, it's a
yeah.
legally binding agreement, so I'm
Okay.
testifying against that law,
Okay.
that bill. Negotiations, we got snowed out right before vacation, so we have that coming up in 2 weeks with both groups once again. And tonight I'm
With-
asking you
with
to, am I asking you to
With
appoint?
contracts due on each one? I can't remember.
They're both coming due this June, but we're about 4 or 5 sessions in. There is negotiations board member, your RNESU board rep is unable to continue in that position. Brenda has indicated willingness. I don't want to say desire and interest, I can't speak for her, but willingness. And so if you could appoint her tonight, then she could join the next session. Unless there is somebody else,
wants to
Becky,
do
who'd
it.
like to do it.
Thank you for your service.
I was just volunteering since she was a Barstow
Yep.
rep.
Great.
I felt like
Yeah.
Barstow should
Yeah.
help out.
She's being much more willing about it than me.
Yeah.
I happened to go in thinking it was a different meeting. I was like, well, I guess I'll sit here now.
Appoint me for a month.
Well, actually, you can stay on, you know, we could just appoint you as a member.
Yeah,
You don't have to be a board
free
member.
time now.
Are you
That's
on
right.
it already?
No, he's not.
No.
No.
You on it?
I think
You
he
on
was
it?
only kidding, because now all of a sudden he's like
Yeah, never
backpedaling.
mind.
Yeah, no, I went back to doing orders.
I like the way you do others.
That's it for my superintendent report.
Great, all right, so we're gonna move back up to the top of, since now we have a quorum, since
I'm
Becky's
sorry.
here. No, that's all right. I knew you were gonna be late, so that's why I texted, just to find out where you were.
Uh-huh.
So, can we get an approval of the agenda?
I move we approve the agenda.
Second?
Okay, we do have to add something after consent agenda regarding the Jewel lawsuit. So I'm gonna put that under after consent agenda. Anything else anybody wants to add?
We do have the negotiations rep under governance process.
Okay, great. So if hearing no other additions or deletions, please signify your willingness to approve this agenda by saying aye.
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 All those opposed? We've got an agenda. Communications with parents, citizens, and staff. Boy, we're busy tonight. Consent agenda. Can I get a motion?
I move we approve the consent agenda.
Okay,
I second.
All right. All those that approve the consent agenda, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Abstaining? Excellent. The Jewel lawsuit. So we have been invited by Pietro Lynn to join the Jewel lawsuit. It does not cost us any money at this
Right.
point in time. And we can remove ourselves from it if at some point we want to, although I don't know why we'd want to. It is a class action lawsuit against the Jewel people for hooking our kids onto something really bad and disgusting and gross. So therefore, we just need to have an approval by this board to
Enter into.
enter into the contract with them.
I
Or
move
sign, let's see, for Charlene. Motion to sign on to
The class
the
action
class
lawsuit.
action lawsuit against Jewel, Juul, with the firms Lynn, Blackman, and Manitsky.
Spell that one.
So
And
moved.
Fraser,
Is
Maley,
it
and
here?
Maley. Why don't you pass this to her?
Is it in your bullpen?
It's actually right there.
Very
Okay.
first sentence, so
So
names of
th-
the firms.
So we need, someone to make a motion, which I think I heard you
I said,
mention.
yeah.
Brenda?
Yep.
Okay, yep.
Make
I'll
a motion?
second.
So, do we have any discussion regarding that? I think it's a slam dunk personally on my
Yep,
part.
me too.
Okay. So, all those that approve of signing on to the Jewel lawsuit for RNESU, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Great, we are on board with the Jewel lawsuit.
Please say aye in bold with an exclamation
I
point.
know, right? With a couple exclamation points. Global ends monitoring, we don't have anything for that tonight. And we don't have anything for executive limitations tonight. Or board management delegations. Wow, we're just flying through. Governance process. First thing we need to do, we'll do the negotiations representative first. So Brenda has indicated that she's willing to take Pam's place on the negotiations committee since Pam had to step away for health reasons.
How often are they meeting?
Teachers are, and it's just teachers, well, actually Pam was on both, but you can, yeah. Teachers have had 4 out of their 5 meetings. They're meeting again tentatively on March 2nd. And then after that, they have to decide if they're meeting anymore or moving on to mediation. I don't know what that decision will be. Paraeducators have had 3 out of 5 scheduled, and they're meeting approximately every other week.
Okay.
Do you want to do one or the other?
Oh, it's not that,
Yeah, that's the thought. You could
my
split it.
daughter's about to have a baby, so,
Ashley?
yeah.
Nice.
You might be busy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but if it wasn't this close to it, then I would, but
Okay.
we're this close to it.
sure. So Brenda, do you have a preference to being on one or the other or both negotiations?
What is
committees?
needed?
I
It's
think she
One
would
or
do
the other or
both.
both?
If you need both, I'll do
Actually,
both. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll do both.
Okay,
Because the paraeducator contract is not a Barstow contract, but it's an RNESU contract.
Right.
So Jeff Spalding does not sit on that one.
I'm putting it on my
Okay.
calendar.
so, any discussion regarding this nomination? All those in favor of approving Brenda as our new negotiations representative, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, thank you Brenda for your
Thank you.
service.
Yes, thank you.
The next one is a consideration of a preschool voucher request. Everyone should have received that in an email. Do you want to give some background, or do you want me to give a background?
Well,
Might be easier.
I did send you, I believe, an
Okay.
email saying that we do have room available at both Whiting and at Neshabie for this child. The child is currently 5, but in the 4-year-old program, because he just turned 5.
Right.
So
Okay.
it's for the remainder of the year. And the bridge program the parent is asking for has only been a qualified program for 1 week. February 7th is when they became qualified. But we do have room at both Whiting, where his child has been up to this point, and at Neshabie.
Okay.
If we're going to discuss,
I was
do we
gonna say,
need
is
to
it
be in
appropriate in
executive
executive?
or session?
We have not done
I
the
think-
executive in the past as long as
Yeah,
we don't
usually the
indicate the
parents-
family.
Right.
Okay.
So, if it were something that we would endanger the child or whatever, then yes, we would go into
Individually
executive session. But this one, as you know, most times we only approve if we don't have room. Or if there's an issue that
Right.
the child needs help that we cannot provide in our district.
And yeah, there's no reason to discuss the stuff in the letter, so.
Right. So I think at this point, this does seem like it's a matter of convenience.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, yeah.
So we need a motion to deny the request.
I
Or
was just
you
gonna
can
make that.
choose to just not make a motion
Right,
to
you could
approve.
just-
You could do either way.
Yeah.
Oh, just not make
Non-action
it.
doesn't approve.
Right,
Okay.
non-action would just.
Either way you'd like.
So,
Doesn't matter to me.
Either way,
Non-action, right?
non-action's
Yeah,
fine
it
with
doesn't
me.
matter.
all right. So is there a motion?
To not have action.
Well, no, just is there a motion? If
No.
there's no, okay. So hearing no motion, then we will deny this preschool voucher request at this time.
Also, an additional piece of information on preschool vouchers is, and you may recall that RNASU approved one more year of the regional boundaries. Pending, was the legislature going to do
Right.
anything? So in April or May, I will be bringing you a recommendation based on whether or not the legislature has done anything by then. So I've been talking with the Agency of Education and,
Are a lot of districts set up the way we are?
no, actually, originally, when the law first came out, you were supposed to appoint a region. A lot of districts didn't jump in right away at all. And then as time went on, districts who didn't already have programs tended to not appoint a region. So I'll bring you that data as well, how many there are, and,
That's really what
Further
happened
discussion.
in Addison Central, is that they did
Mhm.
not have any programs like that, or
Yeah.
very few programs like that.
Yeah, and as things crop up, you can see
Yeah.
where there's issues.
yeah.
Right,
Yeah, all three of the, for Jens, Middlebury, and Bristol.
yeah.
Right.
Okay, so, moving on, presentation of the superintendent evaluation findings and recommendations.
I was saying, I don't have copies of it, but I know that we asked, didn't we ask for them?
I think it was
This
it
was-
emailed out?
Yeah, it was
Okay.
emailed
You
out.
But you can
emailed
reach
out
it from
some
Thanks.
stuff. Yes, that.
Yeah, so did people have a chance to look at it?
Yes,
Read
Glance
it?
over.
yes.
Yeah. So, this is usually done in executive
Yes, it is.
session.
So if there's nothing else in front of us at this point, which I don't think there is, that's kind of why I skipped around a little bit. We can enter, as long as you approve it, we will enter executive session at 5:35 and finish our meeting at that time.
Yes.
Doing this. Everybody okay? I just need a motion.
Yes, so moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay, so we are in coming back out of executive session at 6:02.
Thank you for providing.
Becky, do you want to state our motion?
Sure, I might need some help.
Okay.
I make a motion to accept the superintendent evaluation as stated, and we can get into, I can do a summary after, as well as accept the terms of the contract discussed with an extension of 1 year, making a 3-year contract with Jean.
Great. All those in, I need a second.
I
Yep.
second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, thank you very much for your
Thank you.
service.
Thank
So
you
do you
for
want to
your-
give a couple
Yeah,
minutes?
just a quick, so we just wanted to let people know that 9 out of the 14 administrators and 12 out of the 18 board members completed a survey that we had about Jean's performance. And all of the different categories, people came back with pretty stellar, positive feedback. There was only 1 or 2 places where it was about 66% where people agreed, or it said often, and the rest of the time said, I don't know of that 66%, so there wasn't any negativity around that. And the things that felt like pressing concerns in the general district, Jean, as Brenda and I talked with Jean, Brenda Hummel and I talked to Jean, Jean had already had a list of things and agreed absolutely on the concerns, so it feels like everybody's in agreement and we're on our way to keep pegging away at things.
Great, thank you. So a couple things for us to remember is that our next meeting is Wednesday, March 18th here at 5:15. And also at this time, I want to say thank you and goodbye to Chris Gandon, as he will be leaving the Barstow Board and the RNESU Board after this meeting. So thank
We
you
have
for
a
your...
token for you, we just don't have it tonight, so I'll get it to you.
It's not a problem.
But I wanna-
I appreciate it, and I enjoyed working with all of you on it.
Well, we hope to see you back when things are not quite so hectic.
You're a
And
little busy in my world.
I still have your cell phone when we get
You can.
storms.
That's right.
Yep.
If we get stumped, we're
give you
gonna
a
call you. All right, so,
Sure can.
if everybody is, in agreement, can we call this meeting to an end at 6:05?
I move we adjourn.
Excellent.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Excellent.